If you've been following the channel for a while, you may have noticed I haven't uploaded for a few weeks. Nothing major going on there, it's just I've had a bit of real life getting in the way. But I figured I would take this opportunity to, I guess, have one of these U-Butte channel update type videos whilst I work on a BBC micro power supply doing the old recap. I figured I'd do this more as an update video rather than an actual proper video as such, because there's plenty of other way better videos out there already showing how to recap a BBC micro power supply. I suspect if I'd actually powered this computer on that had this reefer in its current state, it would have let out the magic smoke. Note the hairline crack. So I haven't actually powered this one on yet because I want to get it recapped first. Now, another reason I know this particular unit hasn't been recapped is because if you look really closely at the screws that hold the board to the chassis of this power supply, you'll notice that's got the original, I want to say Loctite. I don't think it's not Loctite branded, but that sort of stuff which will actually act as some sort of adhesive or whatever. I reckon that's from the factory. Given that this was made in 1982, according to this, that is effectively telling me that this has not been recapped in 38 years. So really, that needs recapping like now. Which leads me to the next point. How the flip did I end up with so many BBC power supplies to recap in the first place? Well, I went and bought myself a job lot of BBC micros from the UK. 5 Model Bs and a Model B plus 128K. As well as a Master 128K. So yeah, so now I've got 2 Masters, and oh god, how many Model Bs have I got? About 7. So yeah, of the new to me machines I bought, there were a good mix of issue 3, issue 4 and issue 7, and I'm not going to lie, I can see myself flipping a couple of them, because obviously this isn't a cheap endeavour. And I know people are going to cry about, oh, you know, retro computing, vintage computers are too expensive, yada, yada, yada. You're an arsehole for bloody wanting to capitalise on it. It's like, well, no, I mean, it's cost me money too. So if I've got surplus, there's no point in me hoarding it. I would rather that the surplus go to someone else that would appreciate it and be able to use it. And if I'm able to, I don't know, recoup some costs of my hobby while I'm doing that, well, why wouldn't I? So I think people get a bit precious about that. Yeah, didn't get involved with SepTandy obviously because I don't have any tandies with which to get involved. So that's all academic. But I tell you what, Mr. Lurch has done a great job with that. And again, that was a great collective of channels, big and small, getting into the whole SepTandy spirit. And I think that was a really good thing. I'm all about TRS-80s and other Tandy machines, but I mean, I'd love a Tandy 1000 one day, but I haven't got around to it yet. When I asked on the Twitter a few weeks ago for a poll as to the next machine I should handle, it was a 50-50 split between the ZX Spectrum and my at that stage my one and only Master 128. So I think logic would suggest that I'll just start noodling about with Beebs for the next little bit. I've actually just bought myself another machine very recently. It came up at a very good price, so I just had to have it. A couple of you may already know what I've bought, but I'll be honest, I'm probably not going to feature it on the channel for quite a long time. Probably not until at least next year. I mean, I've still got a bloody micro B that I have to look at, among other things. But yeah, getting back to the channel, with the monthly stuff I do with the market reports, that was actually a bit of an experiment just to kind of improve my skills at doing this sort of thing. And I think it sort of has worked in that sort of regard, and it's sort of taken on a life of its own, which I hadn't expected. I don't think it's the best way to actually deliver that sort of data, to be honest. I personally think that maybe I'd be better off putting that data in some sort of database or something, or some sort of online repository of some other description. So I'm still recording the data, and I'll probably make one more episode of that covering off August and September, because I've already got the August stuff in the can. I didn't get around to publishing it because I just had too much on the go, and also had some microphone issues which I've since resolved, getting a slightly less janky microphone. Still kind of janky, but oh look, I don't really have the funds to go and get myself a Rode. The next market report will probably be the last one for a little while. Might still be worth doing, like, I don't know, half yearly or yearly ones, just to look at the longer term trends. But yeah, I think it's fair to say that we've already seen in 2020 that prices have kind of gone completely bunter for a few machines in particular, much to the chagrin of many collectors. But then those with larger collections who are looking to downsize have actually taken the opportunity to try and get their machines out to other people. And that's the thing, like, I don't know what it is. I mean, with car guys, you don't have too many dudes like hoarding like shitloads of them. They're happy to kind of own a car for a while and then offload it so that the next owner can get some enjoyment out of it. I don't know why we can't, treat retro computers in a similar sort of vein. I'm not saying all collectors are like this, but it does seem to be somewhat of a I don't want to say hoarder mentality. That's probably a bit harsh, but sort of a thing, sort of a mentality of like, you just want to kind of keep them stashed away and you don't want to necessarily share them around. And I'm thinking, well, if I've got 7 BBC micros, but I only want to keep, say, 3 or 4 of them, like say one, so say an issue 3, an issue 4, an issue 7, and Wong's issue 7 as an example, and I've got duplicates, why wouldn't I sell off the duplicates and let someone else get a bit of pleasure out of them? I mean, it just seems like a very logical and sensible solution to me. The TLDR of this is that I've currently got a few BBCs on the go. Don't expect too many more market updates. They're going to become fairly sporadic and they might be looking at more longer term things. I do want to have the updates perhaps delivered in a more useful type of platform. Might be a website, might be something like that. I'll still keep making videos, but they're not going to be to an exact schedule per se, because it's just really my brain just doesn't work to a schedule. Last time I checked, I think I had 72 subscribers, which I'm actually quite blown away by, because I've only been doing this since March 2020 and I'm not the most professional type dude in the world. I actually kind of lean into the whole amateurish way that I operate, and I'm not expecting that to change anytime soon. So yeah, I'm humbled that so many of you out there are wanting to just watch what I do. I'll crack on with this because this is the fourth out of 7 or 8 of these I've got to do, because I've got to include the master as well. So this belongs to an issue 3, which will probably be the first machine that I'll make a video about, showing how I'm diagnosing it. Spoiler alert, the machine that I'll be putting this into currently has a tiny issue where it only wants to see 16K. If you try exposing it to the full 32K, it has a bit of a shit fit. If you made it this far, then you're doing a better job than I am. And until next time, see you later. That was a chair, by the way.